my support and just tell you how proud of you all I am. You know, when people are throwing the words around that they throw around, racist, bigot, all of those things, and you still come out and you still fight for your children and you still put them first, and that's amazing. And I know from my own experience, you know, everybody's a bit worried at the minute about what to say, what not to say, can we do this, can we do that, but you know what? As the saying goes, it might make your lives easier if you stay silent and do nothing now, but it won't make your children's future better and brighter. And anybody that puts himself before a child isn't worth listening to anyway. So keep fighting, ladies, keep going, keep with the pink, and I'm so proud of you all.
And they said they call you racist and far right and they call you Nazis. And I said, oh, that's nice. And I said, so what do we call people who have a problem with mothers and grandmothers protecting their children? What do we call them? Because there's a lot of things I'd like to call people like that. And as I said to the press, just because these men happen to be from a certain background, from a certain geography in the world, does not mean that that is why we are angry. That is not why we do not want them here. We do not want them here because we don't know who they are. They're not screened, they're not vetted, and most of them now are coming from Europe because Europe don't want them either. Why have we turned into the dustbin of Europe? If they can't... What? Oh, money. Sorry, I thought you were going to give me some. They're coming. Now answer me this, Keir Starmer. If these men are going to come and enrich our culture and bring their amazing scientific and engineering brains, how is it that none of them can speak English and most of them can't read and write in their own language? What are they going to do here? Nothing. They will be a strain on the economy for the rest of their lives. And funny enough, Rachel Reeves, we have got no money. Anyway, I'm not going to rant anymore because then I'll start getting a hot hormonal flush. And my HRT's wearing off. So I'm going to hand you over to our last speaker. Someone that you'll all be very familiar with, and so are the Essex Police. In fact, oh, hold on, she's here. So I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Sarah White, who you may remember got nicked for waving a Union Jack flag. And I don't care what they say, because we were there and we saw what went on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sarah White. Hola.
I'm only tiny. I think you can all agree there was a terrible smell today from the Great Unwashed. I don't know if there's any of them still about, but good riddance to bad smells. Anyway, we stand here today as mothers, daughters, grandmothers, sisters and friends. And I must add, we are supported by a wonderful group of men. And what a beautiful bunch of men you all are. We are united by one cause, protecting our children and standing up for the most vulnerable in our society. Time and time again, those in power have failed us, the police, who are meant to protect our children, too often turn a blind eye when our young girls are being groomed and preyed upon by men who stand not even here illegal, undocumented, housed at the taxpayers' expense. Instead of protecting our daughters, they make excuses and families are left to fight alone. That is unacceptable. And while this is happening, our most vulnerable are being left behind. Disabled children, children with complex needs, families living through heartbreak every single day, stripped of support, stripped of funding and stripped of dignity. Resources are being poured into those who have broken the law while our own children are left to suffer. Recently, I had a guy reach out to me, his name is Jack. His son Jackson, at 3 months old, got diagnosed with a very rare condition. He is now a year old. He has spent the last 9 months in hospital. Unfortunately, Epping Forest don't see him as a priority and have left him to sit in a hospital when he could be taken home and looked after by his father. Unfortunately, Jackson's dad was told, that Jackson has got a life-limiting condition. Does he not deserve to be at home? And while you think of the CEOs of our local councils, in Croydon, I believe he was earning more than the American president. How is this fair? And when you think they are to be given 2/3 of their final salary for the rest of their life, how is this acceptable? So I don't care what side you are on, left or right, surely we can all unite in one belief that children are our most precious and our most vulnerable, and surely they all need protecting, and their wants and needs and health and safety tip those of undocumented illegal men who break into our country at an alarming rate. Of the people in this country, something that they are not upholding. If they want to keep their position, they would do well to remember this. As Queen Elizabeth once said, never give up, never despair. When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are all the more determined to struggle for a better future. But it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. And while we still have more to endure, better country in which you live, or go and live in a country you love. This is Great Britain. I would also just like to add that whilst we are all here today supporting one another, the problem is people in our own country are too scared to stand up for what's right. If you think about what happened to myself and Ola this morning, the company cancelled the stage because they were scared of bad publicity. All I can say to them is I am a business owner and I have lost so many customers in the recent months since my arrest and since I stood on Tommy's stage speaking. However, I believe that you have to stand up to provide a better future for our children. And I would rather die on my feet than live a life on my knees. Ola could not be prouder at the moment.
When the old bill just went past with their lights on, I thought they'd come to get her.